Your little one is in the corner of the room.
Hi, purple friend. Why are you see-through? In full, clear sentences.
With pauses, like they're waiting for an answer. You step closer.
What am I gonna do? Everything just seems so uncertain right now.
They laugh at something that was apparently just said.
Then, without turning around, your child says very calmly,
Mama's watching.
Most parents smile, maybe film it, maybe assume it's just a phase.
If we stimulate this area, particularly the hippocampus, we see a direct correlation in synaptic activity along this pathway.
And what they found doesn't just change how you understand imaginary friends.
It changes how you understand the developing mind itself.
Let's start with the explanation most people reach for first.
It sounds reasonable.
But here is the problem with that theory.
Research found that children with imaginary friends are not more socially isolated than children without them. In fact, the data shows the opposite.
Children with imaginary companions tend to score higher on measures of social understanding, empathy, and the ability to read other people's emotions.
They are not retreating from social reality.
They are practicing it.
And when researchers started looking more carefully at what children were actually doing during these conversations,
Then, what the data revealed was something that stopped the field cold.
your child is not confused about what is real. In the early 2000s, researchers published a landmark study that changed how we understand imaginary friends. She and her team had been tracking 152 children over multiple years.
The timeline highlights the crucial interplay between early childhood experiences, as seen in these domestic settings,
By age 7.
And this blue bar shows that 65% of us agree. That's why it's the tallest bar on the chart.
is! And mine can fly! Let's go play over there.
It was what the children were actually doing during those interactions. When Taylor's team analyzed the conversations, they found something that looks, from a neuroscience perspective, almost identical to what adults do when they prepare for high-stakes social situations.
They were creating a social partner they could control.
A partner whose responses they could script, whose emotions they could manage.
Look at that! Are you drawing your friend? So lovely!
The evidence is clear. Our findings demonstrate a significant correlation between imaginary friends and higher cognitive growth in children.
The ability to understand that other people have thoughts, feelings, and perspectives that are different from your own.
Theory of mind is not a small thing. See this heart? That's where we keep our love. Can you put the heart here?
Hi!
And your child is building it by talking to someone who isn't there. And researchers note that the seeds of this behavior begin even earlier.
In the first year of life, when babies begin tracking invisible agents.
Responding to empty spaces, and practicing proto-conversations with objects that cannot respond.
That's it! We did it! The readings confirm the reaction is stable.
See the colors. This is your brain lighting up when you see something new. Isn't that amazing?
Researchers have spent years studying how children use narrative to build cognitive architecture.
And imaginary friends are one of the most powerful narrative engines a young brain can use.
When a child invents a companion, they are not just imagining a person.
As I point here, you can see the complete data set. Everything from preferences, memories, and responses.
And then the brave knight said, "We will find the biggest marshmallow in the forest."
They are tracking what that character knows versus what they themselves know.
Purely in working memory.
The prefrontal cortex shows significantly elevated activity, handling planning, working memory, emotional regulation, and executive function.
The same elevated activity. That researchers at MIT found is strengthened by face-to-face interaction with caregivers in infancy.
What you do with your baby in those early months is building the same neural pathways.
Who's Mama's sweet little love? Yes, you are.
You are not separate from this process. You are the foundation of it.
Your child is doing cognitive construction work.
Wow, look at that. Where did you find this little guy? It's amazing.
In 2019, researchers conducted in-depth interviews with adults about their childhood imaginary companions.
Many of the participants were now in their 30s and 40s.
If we adjust the frequency here, the resonance stabilizes.
Yes, or we could try isolating the anomaly first. Look, right there.
Ah, I see it now. That changes everything.
What the researchers found was striking.
The majority of participants reported that their imaginary companion had felt entirely real to them, as a genuine subjective presence.
And when asked about the function that companion had served, the answers were remarkably consistent across all participants. The imaginary friend had been a safe space for emotional processing.
A place to rehearse difficult conversations.
Psychologists call this externalized self-regulation.
The valve shown here is the external regulator, which allows us to monitor and adjust the flow rate precisely.
Your child is not just playing.
They are building the emotional toolkit they will use for the rest of their life.
And they built it out of thin air. Literally.
When we analyze the trends, the implications for patient recovery become remarkably clear. Cognitive scientist Alison Gopnik has argued that very young children may not experience the boundary between
The scans on the left show typical development, while the ones on the right highlight the unique activity pathways.
So this is why he sees the purple friend.
Exactly.
He seems very engaged. Can you describe how they usually play together at home? The signal travels across the neural pathways, moving from the left hemisphere to the right, demonstrating how the brain processes the information. Your baby is not developmentally behind because their filter isn't fully formed yet.
What is it, honey? What do you see there? The science does not tell us what that something is.
But it does tell us that the child's perception of it is entirely genuine.
There is one final layer to this, and it may be the most important thing in this video.
Children who were allowed to develop their imaginary companions freely showed measurably better outcomes.
Where did this piece go? Right here, I found it. Nice, it fits perfectly.
It is a rehearsal room for them.
Every time you sit down next to your child and ask what their imaginary friend thinks about something.
Every time you set a plate for them at dinner, or move over on the couch to make room.
You are not indulging a fantasy. You are signaling to your child that their inner world is real and valid.
And the research is clear on what that signal does.
It builds a child who grows up to believe the same thing about the inner worlds of other people.
You didn't create a lonely child. You created enough safety and trust that your toddler feels confident populating their world with characters worth talking to.
That is not a red flag.
That is healthy brain development in action.
We're exploring the fascinating connection between the brain, the center of our nervous system, and the eye, our window to the world.
An imaginary friend is a companion a child chooses.
He knocked it down. It's his fault.
And the child maintains awareness that it exists in their imagination.
What looks different is a child who cannot distinguish, who appears genuinely distressed by a presence.
This data clearly illustrates the stark conjugal activity between the playful subject on the left and the distressed infant on the right.
And if you have any concerns, talk to your pediatrician. If it is the first, let it run!
The science is entirely on your side.
And the neuroscience behind it is stranger than any explanation you have heard before.